Alright guys, how good is the new Dokkanfest Super Baby unit without dupes? Well, that is exactly what we're going to be finding out in this video. As you can see, 55% ready to have the dupe fed that we pulled, and level 1 links. He is at his bare minimum right now. I am running him on Omega's 220 lead, just because I do think that's the best place to run him at the moment. I know he does need corroded body and mind units all in the same turn to get the 30% damage reduction and crit chance. However, corroded body and mind, while better than it was, still is in a pretty dire space. So that's why I'm keeping him on Omega's 220 lead for the time being. And then hopefully we can get some more easy A's and units. And then that way we can run corroded body and mind in a much better spot. Now, he is starting with a 382k attack stat, 179 in terms of defense. Those are the only links we do have active. Unfortunately, no big bad bosses, which is a major blow, considering how good of a link it is right now. But as Super Baby 1, he is going to be raising attack and defense by 30% for one turn. He also does start with key plus 2, 250 attack and defense. And this is the best part about him early on, is he does have a 70% chance to dodge and also guaranteed guard. And then he gives corroded body and mind category allies 50%. That doesn't exclude himself, so he will also get that 50% while in Super Baby 1. And then when attacking with 12 or more key, which of course we did. And how much is he putting out right now? 11.3 mil. I mean, considering he is 55%, I don't really mind that too much. And then there's a 70% chance to dodge. And there is the double digits with his guard post super. So turn 1 looking fairly solid. And then he did get 250 attack and defense and an extra 10% chance to dodge when he does attack with 12 or more key. So as long as he's in slot 2, slot 3, and you super attack first, he would then have a total of 80% chance to dodge to go with the guaranteed guard he also does have. So again, pretty solid even in Super Baby 1. Now again, just to remind you guys, especially some of you newer Dokkan players, when there is no active skill transformation, because a lot of people are like, where were the voice lines when he transforms? There are no voice lines when he transforms into Super Baby 2. The reason being is it's a transformation attached to the passive. So starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry, or when there are 3 or more corroded body and mind or GT boss category allies on the same team. So if he does appear on turn 1, the earliest you can get him transformed into Super Baby 2 is literally his next attack in turn, which we're going to get, because we do have a full GT bosses team. That transformation is attached to the passive. It means the transformation is guaranteed to happen basically when his passive says it's going to happen. That's why there's no voice lines. In Dokkan, for whatever reason, whenever a unit has transformed due to their passive, the way Baby has it in his, for some reason there's no voice lines attached to it. The only time you get voice lines is when there's a full animation triggered by an actual active skill that you have to do yourself. I don't know why it's always been like that. It just has. But let's see him transform. Look how good this looks. Oh, it's so good to finally have a baby Dokkanfest in the game. So once he transforms, he is starting with key plus 3, 250 attack and defense, still has a 70% chance to dodge, still has guaranteed guard, still has the corroded body and mind support. Only difference is now it's 60% attack rather than 50. Let me pop one of the Omega Shenron domains, which of course Baby will benefit from. And now he will randomly change key spheres of a certain type to strength orbs. He also now stacks attack and defense by 20% every time he supers. So that dupe that I've got waiting to try him with, and also skill orbs if you don't, or just in general, are going to be a big help at launching as many additional supers as you possibly can. And then when attacking with 12 or more keys, still gets an extra 250 attack and defense, but this time instead of 10% chance to dodge, he gets 20. So once he does super, you will have a 90% chance to dodge, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, with one of the current harder fights in the game, in Red Zone Broly, he will nullify dodge. So getting him to stack up as much as possible, and that 30% damage reduction he gets for a full rotation of corroded body and mind units is more important than ever. However, if dodge isn't nullified, Baby is going to be pretty insane. So we're on a 559k attack stat, 179 on defense. Again, these are the only links he does have active. We are unfortunately missing big bad bosses, which is really annoying, but this is how he's going to be performing at level 1 links. Considering big bad bosses, you do need to lose HP to trigger. So when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class units, as you can see in slot 1, he will have a scouter, which I think is such a good team coverage ability. It's still one of the best in the entire game. And then because our entire rotation is extreme class units, he does have a guaranteed additional, which is going to be really, really handy and not only dealing some extra damage, but more importantly, him stacking guaranteed twice in one turn. And to be fair, you're always going to be doing that because typically the units that are going to be surrounding Baby are more than likely going to be extreme class units, and that is the best setup for him. And he's now up to a 22.5 million attack stat, which, considering he now stacks, I think that's a pretty good basis point for a unit that is currently 55%. 23.4 on the follow-up. And that is going to be all of them because we don't have any more. And there is the 90% dodge chance that he does have, which I'm loving seeing the dodge or die. There's just something so satisfying about seeing dodge or die units dodge everything. Now, as I mentioned before, we don't have any corroded body and mind category characters on the team right now aside from him. I suppose if I did put LR Rose from GDC and Super Easy AGL Rose on the team, we could have triggered it that way, which is not really a bad setup if I'm being completely honest, because AGL Rose can provide support. I am going to use an Usher here just so we can skip this part. Otherwise, there's a potential we die, and I'd rather that not happen. But AGL Rose could have provided support, which is pretty nice. I mean, again, we could have put them on the team, but I kind of wanted to see what he did at the bare minimum. In terms of running Baby's 220 lead, as I said, I don't think that's the best place for him at the moment. You know, you could manage to maybe scrape a team together, just barely. But it does need a bit more help. That Battle of Fate definitely helps you flesh out a 220 lead of dual babies. And it'll be easier getting corroded body and mind units because you have 2 Dokkanfest babies on the team. But again, I suppose I could have put LR Rose and AGL Rose on the team. The only thing is I would have to constantly have 1 Rose on rotation with Baby, which isn't a bad thing. Strength Rose is still very good. And then every other turn, wait for AGL, Super Easy AGL Rose, there we go, to come onto the rotation. So even then, while it would have worked out a bit better, it wouldn't have been perfect. We still would have been missing that 30% crit chance and damage reduction every other turn or so. But at least we would have had it. So off of 2 stacks, he's already up to a 683k attack stat, 251 in terms of defense. Do I want to pop the Great Ape transformation now? Not just yet. I'll hold on to it. I'll hold on to it. Now, actually, no, I'm going to pop it. Yeah, I'm going to pop it. Why not? The stacks do not carry over, by the way, once he goes into a grave. So I'm actually going to pop it now.
Lord Baby, this is the Bloods Wave Amplifier. Right now!
Oh, that looks so good. Just to let you know as well, the reason why Baby does have orb changing, which we did get, I think, all the orbs we needed. If he gets 3 or more key spheres, or if you're facing a superclass enemy, which we are, but we managed to do both, he does get an extra 120 attack and a 30% crit chance. If you do pick up 5 or more orbs, or you're facing an Earthbred Fighter category enemy, which I'm pretty sure we got like 6 orbs, so we also got that as well, he does get an extra 120 attack and another 30% chance to crit. So it's mainly if you don't have 2 other corroded body and mind category characters on the team, the 30% damage reduction, which is a little bit shame that you miss out on. So now that we're in a Great Ape, he does do 300% attack, receives an additional key +1 per keys for obtained, and guaranteed crit, while massively raising attack temporarily on super attack. We do have his active skill ready, which this was implemented in the game for Baby, having a giant form active skill, where he'll raise attack by 1,700% temporarily, cause ultimate damage to the enemy. And the best part about it, as you can see, as soon as you pop the Great Ape active skill, you can use the active skill immediately. So we might as well go for broke and pop this as well. Oh, that looks so good and so much damage done as well. So much damage. I mean, I'm not surprised when he's getting an extra 1,700% attack when you use the active skill. So that active skill is going to be really useful. Maybe if you're going for the kill, maybe you just need that big damage, that last hurrah when you're facing one of the difficult enemies, either in like Red Zone, Supreme Magnificent Battle, you know, any other difficult content, things like that. You pop that, that's either going to be the game winner for you, or that could be a big help in terms of actually, you know, beating the boss there and then that turn. So that's actually a really nice active skill to have. Also, while you basically have a turn free of being a Great Ape, as you can see, we're not putting out the most in terms of attack stats. Again, level 1 links, 55%. However, Great Apes never do that much damage, but let's not forget, he does have guaranteed crit. So while it is still chip damage, it's better than some cases where we're doing absolutely no damage at all, and you can also get 2 turns out of it. So considering we basically, as I said, have 2 free turns of dealing guaranteed crits, doing okay-ish damage, all in all, it will add up. And again, we're doing this for free. We're doing this without taking any damage whatsoever, and we're just slowly chipping Cabba down. Not only that as well, we got to pop his active skill, which definitely done a hell of a lot of damage. Again, at 55%, I think it was, what, a 34 million crit? Just over that. So, all in all, when you do transform Super Baby 2 into a Great Ape, you are going to be doing a decent amount of damage while you are in a Great Ape, which I do really like. And the best part about it, as I said, is it's all for free. So there we go. That is popped. We got the Great Ape shown off. And in terms of the rotation, that's another great thing you get from the Great Ape. The rotation can change. The rotation can change its order. Now everything is after we super attack. So I'm going to let Baby go in slot 1. How many orbs can we get? We can get him... To be fair, he only needs 5, so we might as well just give him the 5. That gives him the 120 attack twice and the 2 30% chances to crit. So we can maximize his damage. So we're now going to stack for the 3rd time. And we're doing 22 milli. And then the follow-up, because we've got a guaranteed additional, we're looking at 22.8. That's all good. Now, this is where the dupe would be really, really handy. There's actually no super attacks here as well, because, of course, we have a guaranteed scouter. And there is no super attack popping up because of the Great Ape active skill. That's another handy thing. You know, while it's not like an official team ability, team coverage kind of thing that you can use, it's a handy thing to have on a Great Ape. But I think overall, Baby's doing really well. As I said, that dupe would be very handy at the possibility of another additional super, considering he's only stacking attack and defense by 20%. So the dupe would be handy there. Having him at level 1 links, level him up as quick as you can if you do get him. Use your orbs, you know, run the link level in stages. It's Dokkan Day after all. Spam Hyperbolic Time Chamber event, because that Big Bad Boss's link needs to get up to at least level 8, level 9. So you don't have to lose that much HP in order to trigger it. Because, as I said, Big Bad Bosses is a necessity link to have active when it does come to extreme class units. So make sure you get that up ASAP. I'm probably going to do the same thing. Even if you don't link level every single link when it comes to using orbs, make sure you do Big Bad Bosses. That crit really caught me off guard. Damn, I forgot you could do that. Even if you just use link orbs on Big Bad Bosses itself, will be a big, big help. That Big Bad Bosses link is very handy to have at least at level 8. But all in all, Baby looks really good, really solid. Definitely the best TUR in the game, and this is at 55%. However, I do think that dupe will be very handy, as I said. Having that extra possibility of an additional super with the stacking. Short form content is going to be his worst enemy, but it's a stacker. It's bound to happen. And that damage reduction is going to be crucial if you are in shorter content, just because that guard with very little defense, as you saw, is only going to get him so far. However, if you are able to dodge, that is going to become your best friend, especially because you can go from 80 to 90%, which is great. If you're in a bit of a longer form content like Festival of Battles, he is going to be amazing. Dodge, guard, damage reduction if you set up, and stacking galore. And then if you're facing Broly, for example, who does nullify, but on the bit of the longer side, we're going to have to see how he does, especially with that dupe in him, especially with how many times we can get him to stack, and also potentially having that 30% damage reduction as well. I wonder how he'll do with or without it. But overall, definitely looks very, very good. Definitely one of the better TURs in the game. I said short form content and nullifying dodge is definitely going to be very much against him and make him very, very vulnerable. But overall, I do like him very, very much. And we are getting a new GT bosses unit very, very soon to help buff not only his team, but also Omega's team soon in Super Easy A, or not Super Easy A, Easy A Super 17. Maybe the AGL one was Super Easy A, who knows? Let me know down in the comments if you want to see that and how you found Dokkanfest Baby. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care for the rest of your day, and peace.